So, when this episode began today, one of the things that I was theorizing at the end of last week's episode, kind of like an afterthought, after I really kind of absorbed the show last week on episode number 3, was they were putting such emphasis on her eye, and Kimizuka, our main character, was putting a lot of emphasis as well. And last week's cliffhanger, we left off on him saying that she's not revealing the whole story to me, and it's kind of the cliffhanger that we left off on, right? Well, as we were moving into this episode kind of slowly, one of the things that I was really worried about was very much Yui's left eye. And I was gonna be really disappointed if the show went down another extremely predictable path, and that path would have been like, oh, this eye is Siesta's eye, and that means that's why she was attracted to Kimizuka, and that's why she seeked him out, and that's what she's trying to protect, and yada yada. And I'm just like, I was so worried. And even the anime, they kind of dupe us a little bit when they reveal, because you're like, oh my god, is that Siesta's eye? And thankfully, that was not the case. I was so relieved when that was not the case, because I was like, oh my gosh, the rest of the anime is going to be him interacting with people that have her different body parts and stuff, and that's why they're seeking him out. I was like, oh my gosh. But that all got obliterated in one shot, and thankfully so, because like, please do not go down another predictable road, because like I can't handle it with this anime. But thankfully that was not the case, and instead episode number 4 was a banger. Honestly, episode number 1 was something special. To me, it was. And number 2 and number 3, I just haven't been a fan of. I've been a little bit negative on. I've been a little bit like, yo, these are 7 out of 10 anime episodes. But I think 4 redeemed itself a little bit, and it's doing kind of what I wanted to see from the show. Real quick though, guys, make sure you guys subscribe and make sure you guys like the video. It'll definitely help us out. Make sure you guys do it for our baby girl Siesta, and that'll definitely help us out. And of course, guys, I'm Dom, and I'm from the Otaku Room. For some reason, you stumbled upon this video as your first time. So episode number 4 was a banger. It was so real. It was so good. So the crux of the episode was really focused around the protection of the sapphire from Yui, because she got the letter saying that on the night of the specific concert that the sapphire is going to be stolen from her. Now, the whole time, Kimizuka is trying to break down what the hell does that mean, and they did introduce her specifically to the sapphire that was being held in her home. But the reality is, the whole time, the sapphire was what was behind her eye. And her eye has special abilities. We'll get there in a second. So as all of this is going on, Kimi and Nagisa, they make their way to the concert. They make their way over to the concert where this is being held, and all of a sudden, the order of the songs in which they were to be played change up, which immediately means Kimi is freaking out, because he was like, oh, this wasn't supposed to happen, and we're supposed to have more time to find our assailant. Thankfully, though, his senses go, a bunch of BS. Thankfully, he was able to get his ear friend, the dude with the elongated ear tentacle thing. Apparently, he was a driver for them, and he's able to use his powers to drown out the assailant, and they're able to save Yui. The rest of what was awesome about the episode happens with the interaction between Yui and between Kimizuka and them. And she's explaining kind of like why they're pinpointing her eye. She gives a sob story of how she was blind in that eye and how it's super special to her. And, this is why she doesn't want, yada, 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 all this BS. And then Kimizuka was just like, yo, this would have been good for me a few years ago. But now I know that there's something more. And he calls her out on her BS and says, you were trying to kill me. He calls up his detective friend who he had sent over to Yui's house. And she reveals, yep, it was bombed, blah, 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 right? So she reveals that it was bombed, that she was trying to kill him. And then he also reveals the fact that, hey, you've been working with these people. They're pinpointing your eye for a reason. It's because you can see. And she was like, yep, I see that you're holding it. He pulls out a gun. She pulls out a gun. And they break down the whole time that, yeah, her eye has the ability to see through items, much like Mr. Tentacle Earman could hear through things. So the organization Spees is trying to was trying to kill two birds with one stone. They're trying to get Kimizuka out of the way because he, along with Siesta and friends, have been ruining what the organization is trying to accomplish. And they're trying to get the eye. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They're trying to get the eye so that they can pass it on and use it, et cetera, right? So they make that known to her. And just that twist, that mystery twist, I was not expecting it. And I totally loved it. Like, yes, this is what I want from the anime. We spend the whole time going down one avenue of a mystery being unfolded. It gets unwrapped for us. We see the gift. And hey, Santa brought us another gift, which is the twist saying that, hey, this wasn't even the real gift. Throw it away. This is the real one here. And I was like, yo, that's so cool. Like, this is what I want from the anime. It's so dope. So that all gets hashed out. Kimizuka, and Yui, they have a conversation along with Nagisa, and they say, hey, we're going to be your friends. We're going to help you out. We're going to protect you. So that part of the story kind of wraps up. We'll see what comes next between Yui and them. He says you're going to be my compatriot, which means you're going to be close to me, and you'll be part of what we do now, and you'll work with us, and we'll keep you safe kind of thing. So we flash forward to the end after the ED, and we get introduced to a new blonde character who used to call Siesta Mom, which threw me off quite a bit, because when she said Mom, I was like, yo, is this her sister? Who is this girl? I'm assuming that there was some kind of hierarchy within wherever they got trained, and she looked up to Siesta quite a bit. So the last piece of the episode is focused on Siesta bringing Kimizuka and this girl together 1 year ago, and saying, she has the fight in the bronze, Kimi has the mentality and the wits, and she was putting them together, and it showed us that the day that she made that relationship happen was the last day that Kimi had saw her, and then that's where she had died. So hopefully, as the episodes go on, the mystery of how she specifically died unravels as well. But next episode, we're for sure going to get introduced to that new character. And obviously now you have Kimizuka on a billboard, the dude who saved the idol. So it's going to be really interesting to see on what role is she going to play. She's going to go seek him out. What's going to come next? But I think episode 4 was the best one yet. I'm really digging it. And if they continue to present mysteries with twists and have us unsolve stuff and then put another twist on top, like, that is awesome. All while unraveling the story of why did a detective die. I think it's going to be really good. So I'm very optimistic. This episode breathes some new life into me breathes some new life into the anime for me. So that's going to be really good as we go forward. And this is no bullshit. Like, I really thought this was really good. And I'm excited now for the next episode, because I haven't been excited for the episodes of this, just because the last couple episodes after the first one were predictable and not great, just to be honest. So this is going to be a really good thing. So I hope you guys feel the same way. Maybe if you don't, that's fine too. Put it down in the comments. What did you guys think about this week's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you the opposite of me? Do you just hate it? You're like, I don't like where this is going at all? Put it all down in the comments below, guys. I appreciate it. If you guys want to see my full reaction to today's video, click this video right here. This is today's episode, but the full reaction video below it, that's what YouTube says is best for you guys. And we'll see you guys next week for episode number 5. Peace.